Hello everybody, this is meteorologist Andrew Pinero with a quick weather update on the pending blizzard that's coming through. So we do have quite a bit of warnings and we have some of the latest forecast models showing a couple of different things. Some of them are showing just an all snow event for everywhere. Some of them are showing a little bit more of a mixing event, not just all snow for coastal regions, more so along eastern Long Island, the Jersey Shore. But we'll show all that in just a second. But first, I do want to talk about the warnings. Right now, we are seeing some of these warnings right in red. The bright red is a blizzard warning. So a blizzard doesn't have to do with the intensity of the snowfall. It has a couple of things. It has to do with duration of the event. It has to do with the winds and the rate of snow per hour, not really the amount of snow. So that's what's causing the National Weather Service to issue along these coastal regions, southern Connecticut, going into Rockland and Westchester County, New York City, and some eastern counties along New York or near New York City and New Jersey. So those are a couple of factors that are causing the blizzard warning, but still in the pink right here, the rest of the area, even going into the Twin Forks of Long Island, is in a winter storm warning. So no matter what, we are getting walloped with what looks like quite a bit of snow and or sleet, depending on exactly which computer model you're looking at. I'm going to switch now to the radar image here. So this is where we can see two systems. There is this low pressure system spinning just south of the Great Lakes, and to the south there's a lot of moisture coming up off the Gulf of Mexico. These two systems look like they'll be what's called phasing. So they're going to be approaching overnight, or more so Monday night into early Tuesday morning, and as they approach, they'll be coming together, and then it looks like they're going to start to merge just south of Delmarva and then make its way north, just very close. The center of the low pressure is key. A forecast model, a prediction of 10 miles east or west of the exact what's called the 70-40 line. That's 70 degrees west, 40 degrees north, which is kind of right in there. 10 miles east or west of that could determine between all snow, lots of snow, or a bit more of a mix. And some of these forecast models are kind of like split. Some of them are saying all snow, some of them are showing snow and a mix along the coast. So let's take a look and start at the high resolution rapid refresh, the HRRR. So this one is just showing all precipitation. It's not really showing a distinction between rain or snow. It's just showing intensity. Still, it's starting right at about that, say, 2 or 3 in the morning mark. And then advancing on this, we're going to see the and you can see the spin right here. The center of the low pressure is clearly right there, and all this moisture is being pulled in towards the coast. So the most intense period, it definitely looks like it's going to be mid to maybe late morning. So right here, this dark green, yellow, and orange, that is quite a bit of weather. It's called liquid equivalent. It doesn't matter, it doesn't take into account the frozen or liquid part of it. It's just the amount of liquid in moisture in the atmosphere at that time. So this is showing quite a bit, and this is also future radar reflectivity, which is very intense precipitation no matter what kind all through the area. Another one that does show the precipitation or the difference, the GFS here. This is blue for snow, green and dark green for rain, yellow for very intense rain, and the pink there, that's a little bit of mixing. So again, this is about 2 or 3 in the morning. That's when it looks like it's going to start on this model, and a lot of them are showing the same thing. As I advance through this, it looks like the GFS is showing this to be just very, very close with this freezing line. It's hard to see, but New York City is just north of that yellow. So this one is showing that it looks like New York City will be all snow, and the low pressure center is a bit more offshore than some of the other ones. However, take a look at this. Eastern Long Island, specifically around the Twin Forks, can see a switch over late morning to a bit of rain. So it's going to start as snow, according to this forecast model anyway. It's going to start as snow, switch over, especially on Eastern Long Island, to a little bit of a mix, then rain, but then it's going to go back to all snow throughout the entire area. So this time, this is going into, it looks like, late evening. So this is a Wednesday 0Z. That's just fancy talk in, it's called UTC or Zulu time. Different type of time measurement, more universal. This is showing Tuesday night at about 8 p.m. It's going to be back all snow there throughout all the area. And another thing to look at these black lines. That's called isobars. These lines are very close together. That means very intense winds as well. We could see, this is also what's prompting the blizzard warning in some areas, the wind. We could see, say, 25 to 35 mile per hour sustained winds with gusts up to 50 or maybe 60 miles per hour in some areas. So this is going to be a pretty much all-day event with some lingering energy, even going into Tuesday evening. Wednesday, more so just Wednesday morning, or it does on this one go a little bit into Wednesday afternoon, but more so Wednesday morning. We can see the center of the low pressure system is now in northern Maine, but because of the spin, the counterclockwise spin of low pressure systems in the northern hemisphere, this is bringing in northerly winds, and any lingering moisture will have what's called wraparound snow around the back end of the low pressure system. So this is showing it's going to be very intense, maybe a little bit of a transition on eastern Long Island, just south of New York City as well. Another one I want to show you, this one is called the RGEM. This one has kind of its own little view here. So something very consistent between all these is the start time. Looks like it is starting at about 2 or 3 in the morning. Then when I fast forward through here, we are going to see, let me just grab the slider, there's the slider. The most intense is still going to be what looks like mid to maybe late morning. But this is showing the low pressure system position and the freezing line much more south. And this is showing, so then Long Island, it's pretty hard to see in the blue there, but Long Island is in all snow. And even a lot of snow going into, say, that's about Toms River where I'm pointing, south of Toms River, or Belmar Toms River. I'm not exactly, I can't really see it too clearly because it's just so blue. But anyway, about that area south, that's where this is going to have this transition back to rain. So it's not going to be as intense with the snowfall totals once you get south of, say, Toms River going down into Cape May of New Jersey. But this one is showing all of Long Island in that snow, and the dark blue is very heavy snow, one with maybe even 3 inches of snow per hour at times. And this is also showing it's going to be tapering off later in the afternoon on Tuesday. But once the low pressure system passes the area, so low pressure system is where I'm pointing right here. And again, this counterclockwise rotation around the low pressure system is bringing these northerly winds, and this moisture is going to be all snow. So we could see some lingering snow showers or flurries around the backside of the low pressure system Tuesday night going into Wednesday morning. The last one I want to show you is called the NAM. So this one is also showing very consistently starting at about 2 or 3 in the morning, and then it's going to be a bit more intense. So a lot of these are agreeing the most intense to be about mid-morning, say 10 or 11 o'clock. The interesting thing with this one is it's just really, really close to New York City, that freezing line. It's still showing most of Nassau going into western Suffolk County, still snow, but then once you get to eastern Suffolk, Twin Forks, it's going to have that transition from snow to a little bit of sleety mix and then back to rain, at least on this particular forecast model. In that low pressure center, it's a bit more south here and hugging the coast. Typically, they don't really, it's kind of odd to see it hug the coast. It wants to try and keep more moisture, so it may end up being a bit more west, depending on the next forecast models that come out. The different models have different timings for when they come out. The NAM is one of the higher resolution models, and it's one of the shortest or most quickly to update, I should say. The Euro and the GFS, the European model, that's one that comes out, say, every 12 hours. So it's a little bit odd to kind of get these in-betweens, but I'll definitely keep you updated as the storm approaches later throughout the day, tonight, going into tomorrow, and definitely keep updates as the storm is bearing down on us. Another thing I do want to say, I'm generally going to call the snowfall totals from, say, New York City and northwest about 12 to 18 inches. Once we get about Long Island, all of Nassau is still in the 12 to 18, then it starts to taper down to say maybe around a foot, just because there's a chance that this could transition. And if it does transition to sleet, which is worse to have snow and then sleet on top of that, and maybe even rain on top of that, which will refreeze, add more ice on top of the snow. So that's a bit of a messy situation, which we don't want. It's a bit better to have 15 inches of snow than to have a foot of snow and then ice on top of that. That is what we don't want, but some of these are kind of hinting that we may see that. But so anyway, eastern Long Island will be a little bit less, say around a foot. Then once we get to, again, about, say, Toms River and south, only saying about, say, 6 to 12 inches, just because it's going to be a little bit warmer because it's very close to the low pressure center system. So overall, New York City and north, that's where we could see the most intense, the 12 to 18. Some models are putting out over 20 inches. I don't think it's going to be that. I'm still just going to call it 12 to 18 for the majority of the area in the tri-state. So I'll definitely keep you guys updated throughout tonight or early tonight and then going into tomorrow. If you have any snowfall totals tomorrow as well, I definitely will want to hear different areas, what the snowfall totals are like, different types of precipitation. So any comments on that, definitely leave on any of the videos for starting, say, now through tomorrow. And I'll definitely keep you updated. If you want to subscribe to the channel, I'll keep all of you guys updated and push that little notification button so you get all these updates when I start these videos. So this is meteorologist Andrew Pinero with, not as quick as I thought, but a weather update on the system coming in. And I'm going to call it a nor'easter for most, but a blizzard for some. Have a good afternoon, everybody, and stay safe tomorrow.